Hey, I'm Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and in this one I'm talking about Abstract Academy. Abstract Academy is a, pattern building, grid completion, word and another word, end game, bonus game. Academy is designed by Molly Johnson, Robert Melvin, and Shawn Stankewich, whom you might know collectively as Flatout Games. They're the designers behind Point Salad, 10, and Truffle Shuffle. Abstract Academy also has art from Dann May and is published by Crafty Games. Did I mention Flatout Games? I'm pretty sure that I did. It's playable from 2 or 4 players. 2 or 4. Not 2 to 4. 2 or 4. Ages 8 and up. Takes about 20 to 40 minutes to play. So in Abstract Academy, players or teams are going to be thematically playing as students who are trying to earn the attention and good marks. In Abstract Academy, players are going to be playing over 3 rounds and trying to earn great scores for their pieces from professors and getting good marks on their assignments. Let me show you how it plays. Okay, so these are going to be the components in Abstract Academy. You're going to have 4 player reference cards. There's going to be 54 canvas deck cards, and they're all going to be some variation of blue, yellow, and red. And each card is kind of divided up into 4 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this card has 2 yellow parts and a single red and a single blue. This card has 3 yellow and 1 blue, so on and so forth. In order to have 9 different things here, because I don't know, I'm weird like that, I just took a single canvas card and flipped it over. The back of all the cards look like this. There's going to be 12 inspiration cards. At the beginning of each round, each player would always draw a single inspiration card. So the things like creating certain shapes. Like this one is create a 3x2 L shape with the same color. These are the points you get for accomplishing it. So you're going to have a max of 3 of these because you're grabbing one at the beginning of each round. This is the teacher's pet card, which functions in 2 ways. This is the starting player or starting team if you're playing a 4-player game. This is the sort of the starting player card. Also, this card breaks tie. So at the end of a round, or so if you're counting things up for the cards I'll get to in a moment, if you happen to have the teacher's pet that round, you would break the tie, which helps with those, and it helps at the end of the game. Your scores are tied up as well because points are you in the game. So these are 7 professor cards. So this one is largest area, most color area, balanced composition, and the rules go into more specifics about what these all mean. Most color areas with only 1 quadrant is worth 5. They're all worth 5. And then you have the assignment cards, blue, red, and yellow, 5 of each. So each round is going to be accomplishing assignment cards and or professor cards. And then the inspiration cards are sort of, they're personal, as inspiration often can be. They are personal, so that's just a personal objective that you want to fulfill for yourself. So this one's like largest blue area, most blue areas with 4 quadrants or more, most blue areas with only 1 quadrant, and then fewest blue areas. So these are the assignment cards, and they're the same, just in the different colors. These are the components in the game. Oh, the rules, of course, as I mentioned. These are the components in the game. Let me run you through what a round might look like. So how the game really works is once 4 cards are placed out vertically, that delineates what your scoring half is. So half will be player 1 side, the other half will be player 2 side. It'll make sense in just a moment. The rules say that the last person to take a class would be the first player. Player 1 took the class last, so they're going to start off with the teacher's pet card. So in round 1, the reference tells you kind of everything you need to know. In round 1, everybody draws 1 inspiration card. So player one's inspiration card is a 3x2 L shape of the same color. Player two's inspiration card is a 4x1 line of the same color. Like I said, you would not have this stuff out. It would be in your hand, but for the example, it just kind of makes sense. Round number one, you're going to do one is color theory. So one assignment of each color. So that means the goals for this round are going to be the assignments. So fewest yellow areas, fewest blue areas, most red areas with 4 or more quadrants. That's what the goals are going to be for player one and player two. In round two, you would flip over 2 professor cards for scoring. And in round three, you flip over 1 professor card and then 2 of any of the color assignments. You can just pick what you want. On your turn, you are going to simply place a card into the canvas. So before you've established what the halves are, once you have 4 cards out, let's say once 4 cards are out, then the decision has been made. Whatever is here is going to be player one's. Whatever is here is going to be player two's. But until that point comes, I hope this is over here. Until that happens, it's kind of up for grabs until that happens. So player one is just going to play a card. So looking at the goals here, fewest blue, fewest yellow, and then most red. Over here is I want an L shape of the same color. Okay, so if I play this card here, I'm thinking this only has 1 yellow, 1 blue, so I'm keeping that in mind. I can also build a 4 now quadrant does not mean it has to be like this. It just means 4 connected pieces. So it could, it doesn't have to be in a rectangle or anything like that. It could just be 4 units of red that are connected. So you want the most of them. All right, so that is player one, and they're going to draw a card, and that's their turn. Also, they're thinking of, hey, how can they make an L shape too? So, all right, now on to player two. Player two is going to, keep in mind, these don't score until the 4x4 grid is completely completed. And if I forgot to mention that, excuse me. The round is over when the 4x4 is completed. You can place a card into what is ostensibly likely going to be someone else's home row, meaning the row closest to them. You're allowed to place there, which kind of establishes it. But once it has been established, you cannot place a card there if there's another place that a card can go, if that makes sense. So the row closest to a player is their home row. So that's kind of reserved for them. Although it can ironically be created by someone else. But, let's just put this over here. So, all right, so that was player one's turn. So now I'm on to player two. It's their turn. So on your turn, the card you place has to be placed either orthogonally or diagonally adjacent to a card that's already within the canvas. So I can't just put this anywhere. So I'm going to put this here. And that is player two's turn. Player one is going to score it based on 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I rotated it, then it will be like that. So they got it. So that's 2 points. Hooray for them. You just keep the cards that you score. Futurism, they scored it right here. So they would get that. Player two would get that. All right, so most red areas of 4 quadrants. Let's do player one first. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have, so player 1 has 2 red areas with at least 4 quadrants. And it looks like player 2 has it as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Unfortunately, because player 1 had the teacher's pet card, player 1 would win this because even though they both tied, which kind of stinks. But as it goes on, but for round 2, player 2 would get the teacher's pet card. I can't talk. All right. Fewest blue areas. Player 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4. Player 2 has 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That teacher's pet. Oh man, that's rough. I've never seen it like that. That is rough. All right, and fewest yellow areas. Player 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Player 2 has 1, 2, 3. So player 2 would definitely get that one. So right now, player 1 has 8 points. Player 2 has 5. So for the second round, you would just draw that these 2 players would be playing for, I'm taking the top 2 for these 2, 5 points. So fewest color areas total, and then most color areas with 4 or more quadrants. So this really means that both players are going to really be wanting to build really large areas of the same color. Yeah. So. And then for the last round, you draw 1 professor card and then 2 of any color assignment. And then each round, everybody does pick a inspiration card. So that is how Abstract Academy is played. Join me back up top, and I will say more words and my final thoughts about Abstract Academy. Before the first time I played Abstract Academy, one of my first initial, I don't want to say concerns, but just thoughts was what the replayability was going to be. I thought, there's 3 colors, just not going to be that much variety. You'll kind of lay things out kind of the same way. And, once you've played it like a couple of times, you've kind of seen it. And I have to say, after having played it a good number of times, I was wrong. No, it's not the biggest deck in the world. I think there's 54 cards of the canvas cards, the actual paint on them. But the combination of different assignments, some assignments that can sort of counter each other in some ways, inspiration cards, and then for the other rounds, the professor cards, all gave each round within those games, a good amount of variety. So my initial concerns about replayability, nothing to worry about there, at least as far as I'm concerned. Visually, it's not quite as striking as a point salad or a 10 or a truffle shuffle, but that's okay because aesthetics are important, how things look, great, but playing the game, like the actual thought process and trying to accomplish as many of those assignments, the inspiration card that you picked up from this round, or maybe the one you didn't complete from the previous round, all those things, all fun, all a good time. So, the visual appeal isn't quite there with some of the other games from Flatout Games, but it's not that it looks bad. I don't think it's a bad looking game. It just doesn't pop as much as a point salad, given the number of colors that you're working with a point salad. This game has primarily 3 colors to work with, whereas the other games I mentioned from the Flatout Games catalog, they have more, and it is what it is. But in terms of actual fun and enjoyment of the game, I thought it was great. I like playing it quite a bit. The 2 or 4 thing is kind of weird, but once you play it, you're like, oh no, I get it now. It's 2 or 4. I don't know how she would really do it, honestly. And I honestly, I feel like 2-player is the sweet spot. 4 is cool, but I think 2 is a little bit better than 4. All in all, I really enjoy the game, and ultimately I have to say, Aaron recommends. I know I'll say that a lot, but I like a lot of games. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Abstract Academy. Thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, and be blessed.